Прошу правительство дать соответствующую директиву «Газпрому» по внесению изменений в действующие контракты.
Hey folks, welcome back to Chammat Palya Piriya Zone. Before we move on to the video, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure that the post notifications are turned on so that you never miss a video from us. Without further ado, let's dive in. The policies of the United States of America are ineffective. What may have been clear to a few people only a few weeks ago has now been exposed to all Americans. Russia will seek payment in rubles or BTC for gas sales. Buyers must now open ruble accounts in Russian banks, according to a directive issued by Vladimir Putin. Mr. Putin's proposal has been interpreted as an attempt to strengthen the ruble, which has been battered by Western sanctions. Foreign customers of Russian gas would have to open an account with Russia's Gazprom Bank and deposit euros or US dollars into it, according to his regulation. The money would be converted into rubles by Gazprom Bank, which would then be used to pay for gas. Putin has placed himself in a healthy position to be able to own this checkmate. Throughout the years, Russia has stacked their gold reserve, hence their position is strong and does not depend on selling gas to the West. For Putin, this is small talk, as Putin is more focused on Saudi Arabia and China to do business with and change the financial fiat system as we know it. Before the dispute, Germany imported 55% of its natural gas from Russia. According to German Economy Minister Robert Habeck, who said Putin's demand was a breach of contract and that Berlin would examine how we would react to it with European allies. Since the interpretation of Western sanctions following its annexation of Crimea from Ukraine in 2014, Russia has been working to de-dollarize its economy. Gazprom, Russia's state-owned energy corporation, claimed in March 2019 that it had sold its first gas for rubles to an unnamed Western European company. The transition to trade in the national currency, according to Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak, will improve reliability. He warned that a complete ban on Russian oil and gas would result in the global energy markets collapsing as unpredictable prices rise. However, Blue Bay asset management analyst Timothy Ash said it was hard to see Putin's decision as ruble positive. Putin is attempting to compel Western countries to trade with Russia's central bank, which they have sanctioned, according to Ash. According to invest firm Loco Invest, the nations Russia has designated as unfriendly account for more than 70% of Russia's energy export earnings. The organization also warned that Gazprom could run out of foreign currency in the future and be unable to pay for its debts. Putin definitely knows how to build and exploit leverage. Carnegie Foundation's Andrew Weiss said, "Are these countries we wish to entrust with one of our most valuable assets? Is there a resource that has a direct impact on our productivity and well-being? The obvious answer is no, and Americans will now suffer the price until we correct the problem." According to some estimates, many US cities could experience average petrol costs of $5 per gallon for the foreseeable future. Aside from the immediate impact on consumer spending and confidence, history shows that when energy prices soar this much in such a short period of time, the US economy often enters a recession. How did the world's most advanced economy end up in such a precarious position, and what can we do about it? Mr. Putin stated that the change over to rubles or BTC was intended to reinforce Russia's sovereignty, and that if Western nations complied, Russia would honor all contracts. The once stable banking industry is undergoing a transformation from fintech to DeFi. Traditional financial institutions now coexist with a new generation of online financial services providers, and the COVID-19 pandemic has further added to banks' need to expand their digital products. The nature of money is rapidly altering as a result of digital cryptocurrencies. Central bank-issued digital currencies will have significant ramifications for the financial industry and how banks generate money. A proliferation of new currencies could jeopardize the financial system's stability. This Putin's bold move to only accept ruble or BTC for energy is a genius tactical move that is going to give a shit change in the current financial system as we know it. So what should you and I do about this?
I think it's progressing a set of financial changes that fundamentally empower a distributed class and disadvantages entrenched interests. And from that perspective, I think we should absolutely want that type of thing to win. And so when I specifically buy Bitcoin, what I'm thinking to myself is I'm using my own personal capital to hopefully prop up and support the emergence of something that would rip apart the existing financial system.
Palya Piriya sees Bitcoin as a hedge against enormous money creation. given that extraordinary amount of fiscal and monetary stimulus in industrialized countries since the great financial crisis a decade ago. Because the quantity of Bitcoin is limited to 21 million, there is no structural risk of a single entity depreciating the currency. This is a fundamental distinguishing feature of the cryptocurrency. Inflation is projected to rise in the foreseeable future, while interest rates in many nations remain close or even below zero. This indicates that our fiat currency will depreciate in value over time, which is nothing new. However, with global debt at record levels and continuing to rise, it appears that interest rates will need to remain low in order for governments to function. How much longer can large levels of debt be sustained? That remains to be known. Thus, Palyapedia recommends thinking of Bitcoin as schmuck insurance against global unpredictability. In a recent CNBC interview, Palyapedia stated, "Our leaders are not as trustworthy and reliable as they used to be. Furthermore, the fact that this cryptocurrency is not truly tied to any other asset strengthens this viewpoint." Bitcoin is entirely electronic and has no middlemen and is controlled solely by its users. Palyapedia believes Bitcoin and cryptocurrency may eliminate friction and democratize the transfer of value without huge financial institutions getting in the way. Just as the TCP/IP protocol provided the foundation for the internet by offering a standard means for computers to communicate with one another. In other words, it's a method for any form of asset, anything with value to be linked to one another. The majority of innovation occurs outside of the regulatory framework, and Bitcoin is no exception. To properly comprehend and appreciate the disruptive properties of cryptocurrency, it takes someone as tech-savvy as Palyapedia. Palyapedia wants Bitcoin to be one of these 4 or 5 things that I now become an expert in again. As if being a successful venture capital investor wasn't enough, he wouldn't invest the time and effort required to become a thought leader and advocate in the space if he didn't believe in the technology. In addition to holding Bitcoin, his firm Social Capital has invested in CryptoMove, a cryptocurrency security startup, giving him personal knowledge of the industry's future products and services. For the reasons stated above, Palyapedia believes that everyone should invest 1% of their assets in Bitcoin. If it works out and obtains widespread acceptance, even in a tiny form, it may be worth many times more than the current price. Cathie Wood, CEO and CIO of ARK Invest, emphasized what she perceived as a big U-turn by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who has regularly cautioned about the negative consequences of Bitcoin and other digital assets for financial markets and consumer welfare in her commentary and public speeches. Crypto has obviously grown by leaps and bounds and is now playing a significant role, not really so much in transactions, but in investment decisions of lots of Americans. There are benefits from crypto, and we recognize the innovation in the payment system can be a healthy thing. She remarked in a recent interview with CNBC, "There are advantages to crypto, and we realize that payment system innovation can be beneficial."
So, there's all of these things that are just so good and will change constructively if we have a fundamentally distributed, secure currency. And it starts with property, and property plus smart contracts and triple entry accounting equal a currency.
With this, we've come to the end of this video. What are your thoughts on this? Do let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for more content just like this, and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and also press the bell icon so you get notified about new videos. Until then, fellas,